Have you ever felt like you're living a life that's just slightly off? Not wrong, not broken, just almost, almost aligned, almost ready, almost you. What if that ache you can't name is an emptiness? What if it's an echo from another you, the one who chose differently, the one who ran toward the fire, the one who didn't shrink, the one who didn't wait? She's not imaginary. She's not future you. She's parallel, and she's been trying to reach you. Through that strange dream you keep having, through the decision you made faster than you should have, through the way your body sometimes feels like it remembers a life you never lived. You thought it was intuition, but what if it's her voice, saying, "I'm still here. We were never separate. We're just out of sync." You are not one timeline. You are not one becoming. You are a meeting point, a Taoist folding of cause and possibility, a conversation between selves you almost forgot. And now, they're calling back. You're not imagining the pull. You're tuning toward it.
She's not a vision, not a metaphor, not a mystical higher self floating above you in white robes. She's real, not in your mind, in your field. A parallel version of you that already exists, already moves, already remembers what it feels like to walk without doubt. You don't need to become her. She already is. What you need is resonance, alignment, attunement. Because parallel isn't about time. It's about tone. You are not reaching for her. You are learning to match her frequency. And when you do, you don't find her. You start moving like her. Let's use Taoism to explain what science keeps circling. Taoism never used the word multiverse, but it always taught multiplicity. The Tao contains all opposites, all expressions, all timelines. What you call you is one thread among many, and every choice you almost made still lives, breathes, and radiates in another energetic stream. Quantum physics calls it superposition, probabilistic waveform, timelines collapsing. Taoism calls it non-linearity. Wu Wei, returning to the uncarved block. They're saying the same thing. You are not separate from what you could have been. You're just tuned to one song while others still hum beneath your skin. You don't have to understand how. You just have to feel when. That moment when something clicks but you didn't plan it. That sensation like, I've been here before, but not quite like this. That's not déjà vu. That's frequency overlap. You brushed against her. And here's the wild part. She's not perfect. She's not enlightened. She's not ahead of you in the way you think. But she is clear. Clear about what matters. Clear about what she's not repeating. Clear about the version of life she refuses to betray. Integration whisper. Your job isn't to chase some idealized future self. Your job is to slow down your noise until you can hear her humming back. The Tao doesn't push. It aligns through rhythm. You don't manifest her. You match her pace. She's not asking you to be better, or braver, or healed. She's asking you to be honest about what you've outgrown, about the choices you keep justifying that never felt true, about the people you keep chasing who never felt safe. She's not judging, she's remembering, and she wants you to remember too. But here's the hard part. You felt her before and turned away. Not because you didn't want her, but because being her meant letting go of what you've built around your waiting. And that's terrifying. You say you want alignment, but alignment demands disruption. You say you want truth, but truth asks you to stop pretending you're fine. You say you want to become her, but she doesn't live in your comfort zone. She lives just outside where your voice still trembles. Taoist insight. The path back to your essence always passes through the walls you built to survive. You didn't avoid her because you're lazy. You avoided her because she's where your old identity ends. She carries the job you left too late, the love you didn't believe you deserved, the voice you quieted so others could stay comfortable.
She's not mad. She's not waiting. She's moving. But every time you feel that ache, the longing, the frustration, the flash of envy, it's her whispering, "I'm still here. Come be the one you never let yourself become." Here's what you've been avoiding: saying no to what drains you, grieving the version of you that kept peace instead of power, owning the fact that the life you built isn't the one your body vibrates for. And that's okay, because the Tao doesn't force the lotus to bloom. It just waits until the soil softens. You're softening now. That's why you feel her more often. Mini reflection. Think of one moment you felt inexplicably bold, then backed away. That was her. You didn't fail, you just weren't ready. But now, the walls are thinner, the static is fading, and her footsteps sound a little closer.
She's not hiding. You've met her before, but not like a person, like a pressure, a flicker, a shift in your breath when the room didn't change, but you did. You don't have to look far. You just have to know where to listen. There are places she visits, again and again, trying to catch your attention. Here are 5. This wasn't imagination. This was a message. You wake up disoriented. Not scared, not sad, just certain you were somewhere real. You saw yourself in a different city, a different partner, a different job. But it wasn't fantasy. It felt like a flash of your own life, in a different key. Integration prompt. What if your dreams aren't symbols, but updates from another self who's already made that leap? Write it down. Don't decode it. Just record the coordinates. This craving isn't random. It's memory trying to break through. Out of nowhere, you want to move, change your name, shave your head, sing again. You dismiss it, call it impulsive, irrational. But it's not irrational. It's resonant. Her rhythm is leaking into yours through longing. Whisper. Desire is not proof you're broken. It's evidence you're vibrating with something more real than this moment. You arrive somewhere new and feel like you never left. You walk into a building, step onto unfamiliar ground, and your body says, "I've been here." Not déjà vu, cellular recall. Your parallel self may have lived there, loved there, broken open there. Practice. When that sensation hits, don't rush. Breathe. Ask, what version of me lives in this place? And what did she come here to feel? They speak to the version of you you've been avoiding. Someone meets you and says, "You feel familiar." Or worse, "You've changed." You feel exposed, not because they see your mask, but because they see the you beneath it. They may not stay in your life, but their gaze, that was a portal. Whisper. She speaks through strangers, when your own voice isn't ready to. This choice shouldn't feel this heavy, but it does. It's just lunch, just an email, just one yes or no. But your body feels it, trembles, tightens. You feel 2 timelines trying to diverge. This is where she tries to merge. Practice. Before deciding, close your eyes. Ask, which version of me lives on the other side of this choice? Wait. You'll feel her. You always do. Reflection invitation. Which portal found you most recently?
You've been taught to chase, to climb, to level up into your future. But the Tao says something different. It says, Return is the motion of the way. Not forward, not faster, but folded, circular, already inside you. You don't need to leap into the life she's living. You need to stop resisting the version of you that already knows the way. And the moment you stop running, the timelines collapse, because you were never far, only out of sync. Let's talk about what Taoism calls Fan Zhi Dao Ji Gaon. Reversal is the movement of the Tao. Not because you failed, but because backward is often forward when ego gets out of the way. The Tao doesn't reward pressure. It reveals itself through release. You don't merge with your parallel self by effort. You dissolve what blocked the rhythm. Translation into timeline terms: forcing equals frequency static. Gripping equals timeline entanglement. Self-forgiveness equals dimension permission. Softening equals harmonic coherence. This isn't spiritual bypass. This is Taoist timeline physics. Let go, not to float, but to fold. So how do you merge? You don't act like her. You listen to what she won't tolerate anymore. You don't mimic her voice. You strip away the voices she stopped answering to. You don't visualize her into being. You remove everything in you that told her she wasn't real. Taoist principles that fold time: Wu Wei, stop trying, start noticing. Zi Ran, let things grow as they are, not as you expect. Wu Jing, act without agenda, move without inner noise. Containment over charisma. The world moves around the stillest axis. You're not supposed to jump. You're supposed to quiet down enough to feel the timeline curve back toward you. Practice. Sit still. Say aloud, I'm not reaching for her anymore. I'm remembering how to let her in. Then say nothing. Let the space answer. It always does.
You've heard her. You felt the pull. You've seen the portals. Now it's time to respond, not with pressure, but with posture. This is not a challenge of discipline. It's a challenge of frequency embodiment. Each day, a subtle act. Each act, a message. Not to the world, but to the version of you who's been waiting for a sign that you're finally ready to meet her halfway. I'm no longer rushing away from myself. Today, slow your pace. In every hallway, every sidewalk, every room. Let your movement match the timeline where decisions aren't made from urgency, but from quiet certainty. Internal mantra: I'm not late to who I'm becoming. She's already here. I let my future self dress my present body. Choose one piece, color, shape, jewelry, that feels like her. Not what's trendy, what's resonant. Let your cells remember the texture of her embodiment. Internal mantra: this isn't costume, it's recognition. Let frequency say what the voice avoids. Today, decline one thing, an offer, a pattern, a fake smile. Say no, not to reject, but to realign. Internal mantra: each no tunes me closer to her field. The timeline you belong to cannot form around your silence. Say something she would say, something clean, direct, unapologetic, not to shock, but to stabilize. Internal mantra: she never needed to rehearse truth. The sacred lives in how I reach. Choose one thing, your phone, your tea, your doorknob, and touch it like she would, with attention, with gravity, with presence. Internal mantra: the way I move tells the field who I am. The old timeline cannot follow me into coherence. Pick one thing, social feed, newsletter, text thread, and release it, not out of hate, but out of non-resonance. Internal mantra: I don't feed what no longer reflects. Her life is not built on productivity, it's built on trust. Today,
Block 17 minutes. No agenda, no scrolling, no fixing. Just sit, breathe, let her come forward in stillness. Internal mantra: my nervous system is the invitation, not the demand. After 7 days, you may not feel transformed, but reality will feel less resistant. Synchronicities tighten, speech softens, desire recalibrates, because you're not calling her anymore. You've started answering.
You've been calling. Long before you had the words. Long before you knew who you were calling to. And the truth is, she's been calling too. Not to pull you away from your life, but to bring you back into it. More precise, more honest, more resonant. You never needed to become her. You only needed to remember that she was always a breath away. And every time you softened, you got closer. Every time you told the truth, you collapsed another layer of distance. Every time you sat in silence, you gave her space to step in. She was never in the future. She was never ahead of you. She was never better. She was simply aligned. And now, so are you. Final whisper from the Tao. The river never rushes toward the sea it already belongs to. You don't have to chase. You just have to move in a way that assumes reunion. That's what she's been doing this whole time. So the next time you feel that spark, that ache, that quiet yes in your chest, don't dismiss it. Don't delay it. Don't analyze it. Just say, I hear you. I'm ready. Let's walk together now.